Now, just think for a second about this. You're running an ice cream business, huge company, okay? Selling ice cream, right? But each and every time around May, rather around November, December, January, when it's super, super hot, summertime, people are at the beach, and you put out an advertisement on TV and say, please do not buy my ice cream in summer, right? Or vice versa. You're owning a nice chain of coffee shops around the country, and each and every winter time, May, June, July, you putting out adverts on TV and saying, do not buy my coffee. Okay? In other words, where you're supposed to do your advertisements and so forth. You don't have a problem or you'd open your business around winter to sell your ice cream, knowing very well that there will be, who knows, maybe 1% of people who would buy that ice cream. And you don't worry about it. I'm basically talking about ESCOM, okay? Each and every time they'll tell you about the core products that would bring them revenue. Your geyser, your kettle, heating up of the swimming pool. They put out adverts on TV telling you not to use your kettle or your stove or your geyser. Okay? They don't worry because at the end of the day, the government will bail them out. They will be going to NERSA at the end of the day requesting for 20% increase in order to charge us the electricity, tariff. So this is just what's happening right now when you're looking at our budget, the budget speech made by the Minister of Finance right now, and as well as this State of the Province address in Gauteng made by Minister, rather the Premier of the province, Mr. Makura. By the way, Makura, it means basically fat, fat, creamy, a fat cat word would be suitable for him. So the State of the Province address was just basically state of COVID address all the way, nothing substantial. The speech was very sad. You come back to the Minister of Finance speech, the budget speech. It was all about astronomical numbers when it comes to the amount of debt that we owing as a nation. It's horrendous. And they were making fun of, remember President Cyril Ramaphosa, when he destroyed businesses or maybe blocking selling of alcohol, he would come up, sneak up on the people who ordered alcohol, the bottle stores, the shebeens, the taverns who ordered a lot of stock, and also having to go maybe taking loans, ordering, knowing that the selling of alcohol was blocked twice. Hey, so now you deep in loans, you deep in debts, and you're saying, let me just go sell around this Christmas time and hopefully I could break even. And all of a sudden, the president comes up and say the immediate selling of alcohol will be stopped on its track with immediate effect. So today the finance minister also was having fun talking about the so-called sin tax, Tell that to those people who don't believe in any religion. Okay, so there's been a lot of blocking or prohibition of selling of alcohol since last year in March, several times, where the alcohol business lost billions and billions of rands, and some other alcohol had to be poured out because of the expiry date issues. And also the craft beer makers, it was said that about 50% of those people, their business has been wiped out. They've closed doors. Okay, so now the Minister of Finance just announced that it's going to increase alcohol by about 8%, spirits like whiskeys, an extra 5 rand 50 per bottle, the cigarettes, the same story. So that's why I'm talking about the ESCOM issue. So they're using their incompetent business model of ESCOM and applying it to the liquor industry, okay, of which they shut down. Didn't help it out in terms of the funding, the billions that they said they've set aside to help businesses. Now we just find out about that they've only spent about 20 billion, something which cannot even help the small medium businesses to stay afloat. So they now, with a business that had suffered, that they've shut down its doors, that had shed thousands and thousands of employees, okay, that has no certainty, and looking somewhere else in order to invest their money in order to grow their businesses. What do they say? Because the liquor industry, especially, it's full of cowards who always go and say they're going to talk to the president and try to make him understand that we will talk to our consumers, we'll make sure that they behave, and we are coming up with campaigns in order for them to drink responsibly and so forth. And then next thing, when they're going to talk to the president, nothing happens. They will threaten to go to court. And then just when it's the court date is due tomorrow, the president will come up at midnight or at night the day before the court action opens up for alcohol to be sold. They keep quiet. They don't follow up. And now they were hoping and praying, and they were on their knees a couple of days ago up to yesterday, saying that we are appealing to the president not to put excesses tax on us and all those tax duties, and just to not punish us because we're not been doing well. Sure enough, the president smelled their weakness like a shark that just sniffed blood in the water, and he pounced. See, they're not taking example from the taxi industry or any other organizations that stands together and fight for their businesses, let alone for their customers. So that's what they're getting today. So we've heard that in 3 years' time, the ratio of GDP to debt will be increased by an extra $1 trillion. Over 50% of the government wages, of the government's budget, goes to government employees' wages. And the big issue which the Premier of Gauteng should have spoken about, something that the people of Gauteng always complained about, and they said they resolved it. A couple of years ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa instructed the Premier Makura, Fikile Mbalula, and I forgot the other fellow. Oh yes, and the Minister of Finance, in order to deal with the issue of e-toll once and for all. What happened? The whole 1 hour, 50 minutes state of the coronavirus provincial talk by Makura, Premier Makura, he never mentioned the e-tolls. At least someone who mentioned the e-tolls was, well, obviously indirectly, was the Minister of Finance. He spoke about the beautiful N1 snaking all its way from Cape Town to Limpopo, and the N4 that comes out from Botswana all the way, and the beautiful R71 that snaked through the Makhuba Skloof's beautiful misty areas that takes you all the way to the Kruger National Park. And while he was there, he quickly snuck in the issue of saying user using the road has then to pay for those services. Okay, and that was it. And he also was talking about responsibility in governance, and all of a sudden he just snuck in there and started also politicking about respecting of the constitution, obviously an indirect jab at President Zuma. And that's about it. So nothing about good environment, good policies that would encourage and definitely fund the small businesses in order for those small businesses to thrive and hire people and even become bigger businesses, and also come up with policies that would protect them from giant corporate companies. Nothing about that. He spoke about something like 500 million. In fact, it was 500 billion and a little bit of 10 billion that's been added in order for government jobs, which essentially was something like this temporary jobs for fixing potholes and cleaning and cutting grasses and all these areas around the Republic of South Africa. Nothing of substance as usual. And this comes from a person who put a tweet that he would never come back to serve, to be a public servant. There should be young blood who would do that. He said that on Twitter, on record, and before you know it, President Cyril Ramaphosa called him, and there he was back working, dishonest as they always are, these politicians. So that's just my take. My name is Mamuji, and thanks for watching the Mamuji Show. I'm out.